Previously on The Nadia Effect. Hello loves, it is about 9:33 p.m. and I am settling in to get ready to do my 5 minutes of writing. Instead of spending my time writing, I didn't, and other things came up and I let it get in the way of the writing. And so today's the first day in a long time that I've gotten to come outside and actually walk. It's weird trying to find the best place to talk to yourself. Hello loves. So if you've been watching my vlogs, which to be honest, there hasn't been that many people that have, I have decided that because I've been struggling to write lately, that I'm going to change up my routine. So I'm going to start my writing session tonight with 5 minutes of journaling about my struggles with writing. And then I am going to go on to write in each of my projects for 5 minutes with 5-minute breaks in between. I don't know if this is going to propel me forward or if it's just going to stagnate me more, but I feel like I need to do something to kind of shake me out of this kind of doldrum that I'm in at the moment. So I lit my candles and I have my journal here, and I am going to now write for 5 minutes, just free write. And then I'm going to get into the actual documents and start writing. So here we go. told you that I was going to try to change up my writing routine. So, because writing in November has not been going very well for me. And I'm trying to publish Should I Agree Eats the Stage next year. And so I'm trying to make a little bit of progress in this novel every chance that I get. So how I'm going to start each writing session moving forward, which I started, I think, earlier, either the end of last week or earlier this week, I'm going to start writing in this journal. I'm just going to write about how the writing's going, write down any ideas I have, any brainstorms I might have. I'm hoping that by doing this that I will begin to fuel my creativity again, because I feel like I am in that place that I fall into every time winter comes around, where it is just a very stagnant season for me, and I need to get this book done. So I can't afford to be stagnant. So I'm going to try to do a little bit at a time to move this novel forward so that early next year I can publish. So enough talking. I'm going to get to writing in the journal, and then I'm going to open up my document for Should I Agree Eats the Stage, because that is that is what I need to mainly focus on. If I write in nothing else tonight, I need to make sure that I'm writing in that book. So I'm going to start with that one. And then whatever I do after that is going to just be like cherry on top of the sundae type of thing. So let's go. Editing Nadia here again. I forgot to record myself actually writing in the document. And so, you know, sometimes mistakes happen. So what I wanted to do is come on here really quick and discuss the fact that writing is often a struggle. I have found myself in multiple vlogs talking about how hard the writing is and how difficult this season of my life is. And I just want to say that writing is supposed to be hard, because if it wasn't hard, then everybody would be doing it. And so I just want you to know that if you're hanging in there and you're doing everything you can to create the best possible book possible for your audience, that you are winning the race. Even if you never write another book afterwards, you are winning the race. And so I want you to hold on to that for this week. And that's really all I wanted to say. So bye for now. Good morning, loves. So this morning I woke up and I literally needed to break up the monotony. So I decided that instead of going into work like I normally would on a Monday, I am going to go out on a dash, and I have a goal of $160 today. And if you don't know, if you haven't been watching my channel for a long time, you will find out that I am a huge advocate for mental health. And after what I've been through over the course of this past year, I just kind of listen more to my body, listen more to my spirit. I know that sounds woo-woo, but it's the truth. And if something's not sitting right with me in the day, then I just kind of am like, I don't think. And granted, you know, I'm an adult, so I don't do that all the time. Hold on, I'll be back. Anyway, I got interrupted by an order coming in. It was $5.16 for 11 miles. We're not off to a great start. Like I said, my goal today is $160. I am going to stay out here for 8 to 10 hours today to try to get that. And I will be returning to work tomorrow, but today I woke up, it's Monday, and I just thought I needed to break up the monotony. So I'm going to do a dash and do some reading and do some writing today. So I'm going to take you along with me. Here we go. So I just picked up my first order from Jamba Juice, and it's not a good order. It's an order for $7, I think, and 6 cents, and it's like 18 miles, which is not a good order, by the way. But I accepted it because I'm out here to make money. I'm not here to sit. And I'm hoping that because in good faith I accepted this order, that I will get better orders as we go along. So here we go. So I delivered that last order, and I got another order for $13.62 for Sprouts. If you know anything about me, you will know that I hate to shop, but I'm going to go in here and shop for the 13 items, and I am crossing my fingers that this customer will give me a bigger tip if I find everything that they need. So here we go. Hello, loves. So I'm on a little bit of a break this morning from work, about a 10-minute break, and I wanted to talk. So here I am. So I told you that I would talk a little bit more about what went on post-surgery. And I think I'm not really sure what the last story was that I told about post-surgery. So I think I'll hold off on that. What I will talk about is the new direction that I'm taking in my writing. I'm finding that lately I've been a little discouraged with the writing process, with my lack of moving the needle, as I like to say, in my writing career, and I'm feeling kind of discouraged, and so I've decided that I need to pivot. So what the pivot looks like for me is, if you are familiar with my channel and you've been watching for a while, in November I started posting what I call the Broken Heart Diaries, and it's just shorter form writing that I did to kind of help me through my breakup, that I turned into like bedtime stories. And I think that is the direction that I'm going to go for a minute. I had planned to publish Shadiah Greer Eats the Stage next year, but I am going to actually take my time in writing this book so that it is the best book that I can possibly put out there, and I'm not going to put the pressure on myself of working a full-time job and also trying to write, because I have kind of been in kind of a blue state of mind, I think, with the change of weather. So instead of pushing through and trying to push this novel into something that what I want it to be, when I'm not really in the headspace to write a full-length novel at this point, I am going to focus on more of my short-term writing. I have an idea for 2 more short-form kind of things that I want to do, and I think for the next few months until we enter into January 2025, that is what I'm going to choose to focus on. I feel that by focusing on shorter form writing, that I am still moving the needle while also caring for my mental health. I think with the change of seasons that my mental health is starting to decline, and I just don't want to find myself in a position where I'm trying to write a book and trying to work, and it just becomes more and more overwhelming. But don't get me wrong, just because I am focusing more on the short form writing, it does not mean that I'm not going to continue to work on Should I Agree Eats the Stage, because that is the next book, like full length novel that I want to publish. But I do think that I'm going to lay some of the other projects to the side for now that I have been trying to work on. I was going to try to do rapid releases over the next few years of my next probably like 4 books. I was going to try to do rapid releases, but I think that in my current state of mind, I need to focus on my one project that is in front of me and also focus on the shorter form writing for the foreseeable future. Sometimes you have to adjust your goals and you have to adjust your expectations of yourself based off of what is going on in your life at the moment. When I first started working on Shadia and all of these other projects, I wasn't working. And so it was much easier for me to focus on just the writing and not really be concerned about anything else. But I'm finding that with the lack of interest in my writing, and I don't know if it's a genre thing or if it's just my writing that people are not really connecting with, but I find that I've become a lot more discouraged on my writer journey. So what I'm trying to do is to continue to show up for myself in my writing while also tending to my emotional life and my mental health. This is not to say that as, January approaches that I will not decide to pick up those other projects and begin to work on them again. But for now, through the rest of the year, I'm going to choose to focus on the one full-length novel that I intend on publishing next, which is Should I Agree Eats the Stage. And then I also want to focus on the Broken Heart Diaries, my YouTube channel, and the other short form story that I would also like to work on, which I will explain a little more next. So the other short form story that I want to work on through January is so I want to work on one that is going to be after the Heartbreak Diaries, and then I want to also work on another one that was inspired by my van life some of the van life YouTubers that I watch. I actually had a dream about this entire story. It still doesn't mean that I have it all figured out, but I actually had a dream that I wrote down in my notes on my phone about this particular short form story. And it is inspired by, like I said, by the van lifers that I watch on YouTube. And it kind of falls into, I think, maybe the thriller genre. I read everything. So I read thrillers, I read contemporary fiction, I read everything. And this story came to me in a dream, literally in a dream, which I know sounds woo-woo, but it did. And I'm going to focus on writing it over the next few months, and I will begin posting it to Instagram and YouTube on January 2nd, 2025. And so that is one of the short form stories that I'm going to work on. I also want to work on After the Heartbreak Diaries, which will probably come in maybe February, but I'm going to focus on those 3 items rather than trying to stress myself out by focusing on multiple projects, multiple long form projects, and also trying to write these short form stories. It just makes more sense to my life right now, and it doesn't mean that it will not change in the future, but for now, I'm going to tend to my mental health. I'm going to tend to my emotional health and my emotional well-being, and I'm going to just continue to move the needle in the best way that I know how. So that's all that I have to say. I just wanted to give you an update on where the writing is for now. So I plan on writing a little bit later, so I'll film some of that, and just let me know what you're working on, because I don't really ask that a lot, and I feel like I should ask that. Like, what are you guys working on? And it doesn't have to be writing necessarily, but what are you working on? So let me know in the comments. Bye for now. So I realized something as I sat down in front of my computer today, and I realized that this story, I have allowed this story to terrorize me. That being the story of Should I Agree Eats the Stage. I think there are a lot of elements that I still need to figure out, and they honestly terrify me because I don't know how it's all going to come together. So what happens is I sit in front of my computer, which is what I'm doing now, because I want to sit down and at least write for 25 minutes in Should I Agree? Since I haven't really been writing and the writing has kind of been slacking off. And I want to get some words in. But what I've realized is that every time I sit down to write this story, I feel fear that it's not going to come together. This isn't the first time that a story has made me feel this way, because I remember when I was writing Unmasked, and I think I was in like the second or the third draft of Unmasked, and there were elements still that I needed to figure out, and I kept panicking and thinking, okay, I don't know if I can write this. Maybe I just need to shelf this. Maybe I just need to move on to something else. I don't know if any of you feel that way as you get into a story and there are elements of the story that you feel like you can't figure out, but that is definitely what I'm struggling with right now. So I've decided that I'm going to take a softer approach to my writing in terms of writing Should I Agree? And I'm going to sit in front of the computer and I'm going to write, but I'm going to not force anything anymore. I'm just going to let whatever happens in 25 minutes. Yes, I'm going to set a timer for 25 minutes, and I'm just going to let whatever words come out. Now, granted, I really honestly shouldn't be afraid to sit down this session, because there were some things that I wrote in my notebook. I think it was probably a couple of vlogs ago, and I have not input all of that into the computer. So I'm going to work on doing that first. And so maybe this is a problem for future Nadia to be considering, but we're just gonna sit down and we're gonna write in Should I Agree for 25 minutes. So here we go. Hey Google, set a timer for 25 minutes.
All right, 25 minutes. Starting now.
Sorry, I had to put my bonnet on because my hair was getting on my nerves. But I successfully completed a 25-minute sprint in Shaddai Greer, and I felt good because all of the writing that I had done in that notebook, I was actually able to put it into the document, and then I was able to continue to write a little bit more in the chapter that I'm currently in. So I think using the gentler approach and focusing on this one project, this one long form project at a time is going to help me, because I think maybe my mind just got a little overwhelmed with all the projects that I had in the works. So now I'm going to use my phone, because what I do is I write the short form fiction that I'm working on in Notion on my phone, and I do it in installments on my phone. And then what I do is when I get ready to publish it, I copy and paste it into Instagram, and then I'm going to be also reading the short form fiction on YouTube when I decide to finally do that. So I think for now, I'm going to set up for me to write in both the Broken Heart Diaries for 5 minutes, and also the other van life story that I'm working on, which is also going to be more of like a serialized story. And I'm going to work on that for 5 minutes as well. So that's what I'm going to record next. Let's go. Hey Google, set a timer for 5 minutes.
Got it, 5 minutes. And that's starting now.
So today is the first day that I've been allowed outside without it being windy or freezing or some other weather related issue. So I decided that I was just going to record. So the thing that has been heavy on my mind lately has been whether or not my writing career is dead. And the reason I've been asking myself that recently is because it really hasn't gotten off the ground. And part of that is because I've only written 3 books. Another part of it is just that I can't seem to find an audience for my books. And that has been a huge problem. I literally had an attitude about it this entire week. Like a literal attitude. Because it can be discouraging. It can make you question like whether or not writing is even meant for you or meant for your life. And now that it's Friday and I've had the whole week to kind of stew and my disappointment and my upset and the things that for me don't seem like they're going perfectly, I have something to say. So I remember when I first started my YouTube channel and I thought, because I wasn't getting any views and that I wasn't connecting with the audience. And so I tried to, I think for me, I wasn't really being myself. And so what I made a promise to myself that when I returned to YouTube that I was going to be fully myself no matter what. Even if it meant I got no subscribers. So here I am in maybe about a month or in a little bit more into the second season of my YouTube journey, and I still have 24 subscribers. And if you are a results person and a person that wants to see their channel grow in any substantial way, to be stuck at that number for as long as I've been stuck at that number can be disheartening. In the meantime, you watch other YouTubers that start their YouTube channels that go surpass you and go way beyond like 24 subscribers. Some of them go into the thousands of subscribers. And it is, again, disheartening because you wonder what you can do to maybe get more subscribers and get more people to be interested in your content. You wonder if you're just not interesting. You wonder if there's even a place for you here on YouTube. What I've come to realize for myself is I am creating videos that I want to see on YouTube moving forward. When I restarted this journey again, I also made a promise to myself that I was going to show up 100% authentically myself. And if I couldn't do that, then I didn't want to do it. And I feel like I've lived up to that so far. So, you know, there are all kinds of things that you're fighting. Everyone blames it on the algorithm. Everyone blames it on, you know, their content and how maybe it's not aesthetically pleasing. Yes, I feel like content should be somewhat aesthetically pleasing, but you also have to meet people where they are. And not everybody can afford equipment. Not everybody can afford a place for a studio. Not everyone can provide entertainment or fodder for people. So I'm not saying that everyone does that, but I just feel like I needed to rant about the lack of substance sometimes on YouTube. I've also started to realize that maybe I'm writing in a genre that is no longer a valid genre. I write contemporary fiction and I don't have any tags like contemporary fantasy or contemporary romance. It's nothing like that. I just write stories about people, everyday people that you might meet in your everyday life, and their problems and how they solve them and what they go through in order to shift and change and adapt to life. That's what I like writing. And so it doesn't seem like that sells because I think when people read, they are reading to escape their real life. And maybe some of the writing that I do may be a little too close to home. So I'm going to sum this up by saying that yes, I spent my entire week frustrated by YouTube and publishing and working a full-time job and trying to be a creator and feeling like I'm just... So my summary got cut off. So I'm in a new location, and even though I spent the majority of this week frustrated by lack of progress and things that seemingly seem like they are out of my control, I am going to end Friday by saying that I am going to keep showing up, and I'm going to keep doing the work, and in the hopes that I find my audience and find the people that actually want to read my books, because at this point I'm just at a loss as what I need to do. I know for a while I wasn't really trying to promote my books, but now I'm trying to put myself out there, trying to put my writing out there, and it seems like it's just crickets. So I'm just going to keep showing up, and I'm going to encourage you to keep showing up too, and to not let your lack of views or engagement be a deterrent to you creating art. So that's it.